Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwadner and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today it's my pleasure of welcoming Michael Schultz. He's president of Rain Group. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks for having me, Gerhard. It's great to be here.
So you're an expert in sales training. Could you share with us what are some of the mistakes that companies are making that stands in the way of training success?
Sure. I think that the challenges are mostly challenges of human nature. Here's what happens. Someone that's a senior vice president of sales says, we need to close more sales. And I went to a meeting and they led a terrible conversation. They didn't do a good job with needs discovery. They need to be better at this, which goes to a sales enablement person. And then they say, okay, we need to execute on that wish. But another times, we could have won this sale and we were completely outsold by the competitor. We had a stronger value proposition, but the other guy just outdid us. We need training on this. It's based on the last mistake that someone made, that someone saw. And that is a recipe for flavor of the month. And it's a recipe for, I thought that this was going to change everything, and it didn't. So one of the things that we would recommend is to say, well, what does it look like if selling actually works really well here? And there's probably a series of components of different things that sellers need to be able to do. If that's the case, you can find out, well, how well are they doing them right now? And then what would our approach be to having them get better at this picture? Not this last thing that the sales vice president said that they were really bad at.
Do you have any research that backs that up, that could guide a sales manager's thinking?
We did a study of 472 mid-size and large sales organizations, and those organizations that had that were more likely to reach plan, that had higher win rates on proposed sales, that were able to maintain strong pricing while they also won more sales and achieved plan. They tended to have much more effective sales training. They tended to invest quite a bit more per person. They tended to involve the sales managers much more strongly, and they tended to think more big picture and holistically about a series of skills, not just this one or that one or the other one.
So, Mike, why is it that most of sales training doesn't stick, or it doesn't stick easily? What is the remedy for that?
A remedy for that is to take a longer versus a shorter term view. And I think that has a lot to do with flavor of the month. Things come in and things go out, and the average sales VP doesn't stay in their job that long, and they come in and they bring their pet kind of thing, and it comes in and it goes out, and it comes in and it goes out. So what does a salesperson need to succeed at here? And if we have 3 or 4 or 5 roles, how do those roles add up in terms of what this one's good at and what that one's good at? So that thinking of sales like a ball, the ball has to roll. Different people can do different parts, but we know what that is going in. Even in new performance situations where it's a new company, you could think deliberately, what do they need to be good at? And then ask yourself the question, what will it really take?
What do sales managers or sales coaches need to do to hold salespeople accountable?
We actually just studied 2,377 sellers and non-selling professionals for what the most productive and the highest performing people do on a day-to-day basis. And staying accountable for the kinds of things, the kinds of commitments that they made to themselves to do rose way to the top of what the most productive and highest performing people are doing. So the question is accountability. So we've been doing a lot of our work in post-sales training. How do we actually create action plans working specifically with the sales managers and coaches, but the sellers themselves, not to just make plans, what am I going to do with this information, but to then implement them almost like an exercise routine in 90-day challenges. And we found that to be wildly successful in the places we've been fortunate enough to do them. So if you have a buyer that's trying to figure out for an important purchase, who should I buy from? By the time they get to their finalist stages, 3 companies left, what we found in our buyer studies is they often believe that each one of them has the core capability to do the work for them. So like an algebra problem, they cancel each other out. And then the question becomes, who do we want to work with and what do we base our decision on? And most of the factors we found come down to how did the seller interact with them? More than the brand of the company, more than the actual product differentiation or service differentiation itself. It became about the experience of buying. And so that literally comes down to the salesperson. and the leverage that companies can get to be more successful with the same structures, and then to actually create cultures that become more successful companies because more people are succeeding and doing better. It's this amazingly positive reinforcing systems loop if you can get the sellers to be that much more successful. And as long as the leaders get behind this as a priority, you can just see a lot more business success if sellers have the tools, have the resources, have the skills, and have the support to bring out the value of the organization to more customers and clients.
Mike, where can people learn more about Rain Group?
Oh, it's pretty easy. You can just Google Rain Group and you'll find us first. But if you Google Rain Group or go to raingroup.com or just say Rain Sales Training or Rain Group Sales Training, pretty easy to find us.